In this video, we have prepared the terrible catastrophe of Pompeii with all its facts. I hope you like this video. In 79 AD, one of the most extraordinary events in history was experienced as a result of the activity of Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii, the prominent city of the Roman Empire. And the city was completely buried under volcanic material and remained silent for 1,500 years. Its rediscovery in this ancient site was the result of a great accident, and as the most preserved ancient city to date, it has been exposed to the public. But what happened to Pompeii in the last 24 hours? How much of what we were told about the ruins was true? Please stay with us until the end of the video. The setting: Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii. Mount Vesuvius is an active volcano located in the southern Italian region of Campania. It is best known for the eruption that destroyed the ancient city of Pompeii in 79 AD. Pompeii was a thriving Roman city located near the base of the mountain. It was home to thousands of people and many impressive structures including theaters, temples, and baths. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius began on August 24, 79 AD. It spewed a thick layer of pumice and ash over the city and buried it in darkness. The eruption lasted 19 hours and released enough molten material to cover most of Pompeii in a layer up to 10 feet thick. The heat was so intense that it caused some structures to be vitrified, or turned into a glass-like material. The effects of the eruption were catastrophic. Over 2,000 people died in Pompeii alone, and the town was completely destroyed. The cities of Herculaneum and Stabiae were also engulfed by the eruption and completely wiped out. All three cities were eventually forgotten until their rediscovery in the late 18th century. Today, Mount Vesuvius remains an active volcano and is closely monitored by scientists. Although Pompeii, Herculaneum, and Stabiae have been excavated and studied extensively, their destruction still serves as a powerful reminder of the destructive power of nature. The eruption. On August 24, 79 AD, the city of Pompeii experienced a cataclysmic event that would shape its legacy in history: the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. It began with earthquakes, which shook the ground and caused structural damage throughout the city. By evening, ash and lapilli started to rain down on the people of Pompeii and the surrounding area. The volcano spewed an enormous ash cloud 20 miles into the air, plunging the town into darkness as the sky turned black. The ashes soon accumulated up to 25 feet in some places, and eventually sealed the doom of many unfortunate souls. As the molten lava slowly made its way through the city, it killed and burned anyone who was unable to escape. The heat from the eruption was so intense that it killed people immediately and left their remains preserved in the ash for thousands of years. In fact, many of the victims were found in positions indicating that they had been running away when they were suddenly overwhelmed by the heat. By the end of the eruption, Pompeii had been completely destroyed and buried under meters of volcanic ash. While it is a tragedy that so many people lost their lives in this disaster, it also served as a major archaeological find when Pompeii was rediscovered centuries later. The aftermath. After the eruption ended, Pompeii was left in ruins. All that remained were ash and pumice, burying the city and its people in a thick blanket. The debris caused extensive damage to homes, roads, and other structures. The city was left covered in a thick layer of ash, up to 6 meters deep in some places. It took hundreds of years before the buried city was uncovered again. The bodies of the victims were preserved under the ash, giving us an insight into the events of that fateful night. Over 1,150 bodies have been found in Pompeii, many still frozen in their final moments. The effects of the eruption were felt far and wide. The ash and pumice created dark skies for miles around, plunging the area into darkness for days. Reports from other cities also tell of earthquakes, landslides, and floods triggered by the eruption. The tragedy of Pompeii continues to fascinate people to this day. It serves as a reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of life. The legacy of the disaster lives on in the preserved city, providing a unique glimpse into ancient Roman life. The victims. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius and the destruction of the ancient city of Pompeii had a devastating effect on its inhabitants. Although estimates vary, it is thought that up to 2,000 people were killed during the disaster. Of those, around 1,500 bodies were recovered from the site. It is thought that the people of Pompeii had very little warning before the eruption, with many still in their beds when they died. As well as the human victims, it is believed that many animals were killed in the tragedy. Over 500 bones belonging to horses and mules have been uncovered during excavations at the site, as well as remains belonging to other domestic and wild animals. The state of the preserved human remains at Pompeii is one of the most striking aspects of the disaster. Due to the heat of the ash, many of the victims were preserved in their final moments, frozen in time. This has allowed researchers to gain an incredible insight into their lives and how they met their untimely end. The plaster casts that were made from these remains provide us with a haunting reminder of what happened at Pompeii. The legacy. The tragedy of Pompeii and the destruction caused by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius left an indelible mark on human history. The event was a reminder that no civilization, no matter how advanced, is immune to natural disaster. In addition to its historical significance, the ruins of Pompeii have become one of the most popular tourist attractions in Italy. As a result, thousands of visitors flock to the site each year, marveling at the preserved remains of the city and its inhabitants. In modern times, the legacy of Pompeii has been further immortalized in art, literature, film, and even video games. Numerous books and films have sought to recreate the events of 79 AD, from historical works like Robert Harris's Pompeii to the 2014 action-adventure movie of the same name. While no amount of media can ever truly replicate the horror of that fateful day in Roman history, the legacy of Pompeii lives on in our collective memory.